the one that I used yesterday. So this is the template that you'll get, and you'll see there's holes in here where the eyes, the nose and the mouth is, and you'll see that we need that. So you could make a little hole with your pokey tool or something like that. So that's the bear. Now you do not have a seam allowance, okay? You do not have a seam allowance as such. You're not going to turn this bear through. It's because of the fabrics you're going to use. You're just literally going to cut out the bear. Well, in a minute, yeah, I'm going to show you the process in a second. And you're going to stitch directly onto, so you're going to make your own seam allowance. That's what you're going to cut. And so you're not turning through. This bear stays exactly the same size as what you see, okay? If you did want to turn it through, right, if you did want to turn it through, you will need to add 1/4 inch all the way around, so it's big enough. Although it'll look really odd when you come to do it, it'll look really fat, that's the only way you'll be able to turn it through and be successful. So because we're going to be using felt, fleece, flannel, anything like that, we're going to pink the edges. It's absolutely perfect as it is. Okay, it does not need any adjusting. And please, 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 you're not doing right sides together in stitching, you're doing wrong sides together. But I'm going to show you the process. Now the tags, I've got one here as an example. I'm going to bring it up so you can see. You get 3 to a sheet, so you can make 3 bears and print off 1 sheet. And I've got another sheet if you want to print onto fabric, which I'll talk about as we go along. So the poem is: I'm just a wandering little bear in need of a cozy hug. Could you take me along? I promise I'm warm and snug. If you want to spread the word, I've got a special little page. Just look for I Found a Bear on Facebook. Let's engage. Shout it from the rooftops. I found my brand new spot. I'm all set for fun and games. So, are you ready or not? Okay, so you're going to print the 2. I might change this for I am not lost. This is just for you. I've got a little story about that. I'll tell you another time. So you're printing the 2. You're going to put a hole through both, and you're going to put a ribbon through. But I'm going to walk you through it now. Okay. So let me just move a couple of bits. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a piece of fleece or felt or flannel or a nice bit of cotton. Please, please do not use your worst ever cotton. Okay, and you're going to fold it in half. So it's like that. And you're going to place your bear on top, and you're going to cut a rectangle. Okay, so I'll try and keep it on the screen as best I can. If you can't see, or if you need the screen lightening up, then I'll do that. And I haven't used my lightening tool on it tonight. Okay, so that's what you've got. And you can, if you want to, pin this teddy down and cut around with your pinking shears and then stitch your bear, or, oh God, itchy nose now, or you can get your heat erasable, and you could, bit like if you were making a Tilda doll, because Tilda is renowned for this technique, is draw around, and this, don't forget, this is your edge, so you don't, well, I mean, if you want to stitch on the line, of course you can do what you like, but the idea is that you stitch in the line just to help you. The line is just there as your guide, and you're going to draw around as best you can. It's not easy on fleece because of the pile, so make sure that when you do this that you've got the right side showing. Okay, you want the right side showing. You do not want right sides together. I know sometimes, you know, it's difficult to remember, but if I keep saying, I'll keep on saying, watch the video back, because there's an awful lot of information I've given out tonight, and rather than we just keep answering the same questions, it's easier for you to watch back and listen and make a note if you need to. Okay, that's the easiest thing to do. Okay, so we've drawn our bear. Oh, I've got some fluff up my nose. I'm going to put the bear back down, and I'm going to make a little hole, not a hole, a little mark for his eyes there. Okay, that's why we've got the holes, and also a little hole in his nose. With my pen I'm going to make a little mark, and then I'm going to do 3 points on his mouth, or her mouth, so I know roughly where to do my stitching. Now you can use these sort of eyes and noses, yeah, to do the eyes and the nose, and the mouth can be embroidered, or if you're very clever you could do a satin stitch. You could draw the line in, so we could draw the line in, and you could do a satin stitch following the line. Okay, I'm using a heat erasable so it'll all come out. Okay, so join up the dots as best you can, and you do your satin stitch. Okay, tiny, it'd have to be a tiny satin stitch. I can't think what size. Yeah, we usually just stitch around the pattern. Well, that's right, Tricia, you could, because the bear would come out a little bit bigger, but that's okay. So you could put your pattern down, you could pin it or use your spray adhesive, and then you can just stitch, like Tricia has said, all the way around, and that the paper is your guide. Okay, so there's a lot of ways of doing this. So while that's in position, let's just cut that in half. And the reason why I had that on the fold, it means that this other side is exactly the same texture as this side. Okay, and I know full well then I'm fine. So before I do anything, I'm going to stitch his mouth. Okay, and I'm going to try and do this fairly quickly, but we'll see how we get on. We'll see how we get on. I don't want to waste what I do, but just because of speed. Let me see, how many have I got? 4, that should be enough. So you don't want 6 strands, that's a little bit too much, but this is 4 strands, so I'm going to see if that that works. And you just want to do little stitches, you don't want to do big stitches. Okay, right, so Kath says there's now a post in featured here in the group which gives you the link to I Found a Bear. Okay, great. Where do you get the templates? No, I've said where all this is. So wait until the end of the video, because I've said all the answers to your questions. I've said it all already. So take one piece away. It's because you were listening to the one show. You weren't listening to me at all. The one show, what's on at half past? Oh no, it's past. Is it EastEnders now? You was listening to EastEnders, so you know, what can I say? So we're just doing a little running stitch. It might be a little bulky, it might be one of these things that I look at and think, gosh, no, it's got to be done again. So I might, you know, we'll see how we go. I don't want some small child to start crying when they see the bear. Oh, mummy, don't make me. Oh dear, wouldn't that be awful? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we try not to make it too frightening. I suppose if you can get the smile, then that's it, isn't it? If the eyes twinkle and the smile is okay, then, or I mean, you don't have to do a smile. You could just do the eyes and the nose. That's probably a safer option. Yeah, you don't have to at all. Oh gosh, I'm just thinking of a poor little child being forced to take the teddy home. Yeah, Nicola, you're so right. Mummy, don't make me do it. I was good at school, I promise, please. Yeah. Oh dear, wouldn't that be funny? So look, it hasn't taken too long. The four strands are quite stiff to get through the fleece, But so maybe cut down to 3. Whatever you're capable of is perfect, yeah? Whatever you're capable of is perfect. So let's have a look. So, and the other thing is we don't want this to come undone. So take your thread and just slip it through. You don't want to do sort of too much. You don't want to do any over stitching. Just weave the threads through the back of all the stitches. And that way it's all secure. And I would go through the knot as well, to be honest. I'll go through the fibres. Let's catch it in the middle. There we go. And be careful, because you can pull too tight and you end up with a bit of a lopsided mouth if you're not careful. So let's have a look. That's not too bad, is it? Okay, so now we need to just do the nose and the eyes. So I just need to find my mat, which of course I had a moment ago. Now I don't. Let's see. Oh, here it is. And my punch tool. So the punch tool is good for this, but you could use a bradawl. I'll just take that big one out, and we'll use that one. We'll use the small one. I think that will be okay. We'll see. We'll see how we go. See how we go. So we'll swap them over and make your holes. So you want a hole for the nose, so make sure you get it central. Keep lining it up, make sure it's in the middle. One for the eye and another one for the eye. Okay, perhaps you should leave it like that. Oh, I see. Tricia says, I can just see the reaction of my grandson if you try to give him a pink bear. I blame his dad. Well, I'm not suggesting you do pink, Tricia. You know. Right, eyes. Should we do blue eyes? Do blue eyes? Okay, so pop the blue eye through. We just need the ends. And I need my pliers because these have long... Oh, it's damaged. These have long ends to them, so I need to snip them off with my pliers. So let's put one on. So if you bought a set of this when we made Julio, some of you might have been around long enough to know about Julio, then now's your time to use them. And they only take an hour to make, these bears. I'm hoping less. So look, I'm just going to take my pliers and just snip the end off. We're not going to stuff it really too much. There we are. So that's those two done. That's the little eyes. Oh, it's so cute. Should we give it a pink nose? Let's see what it looks like. It looks like, I don't know, he's had too many beers. Let's give him a little black nose. See if we can find a little black nose. Just a sec. See, that one's actually got a sort of a snouty bit to it. I don't know if it's a bit too big though. Oops. Yes, a bit big, I think. So put it on. I don't know. It's got a snouty bit. I don't know if you can see it. I'll put it on and then I'll show you. Now these nose backs are a lot broader. But I found that these will fit, but you need to give them a bit of a shove. You just got to really shove it on, which of course, you know, is going to be tricky for me. Let me just stand up. It might help. I'm going to the nail technician tomorrow, so if we do any damage, come on, you can do it. Because the other ones I've got are too big. Let's see if I can use this to help me. Did it all right yesterday, but of course that was yesterday, wasn't it? Let's see if I open that up. I don't want to cut it. Let's do it that way. Bear with. See if I can do it. Anyway, let me get the bigger one because I'm pretty sure I couldn't. These were too big. No, I lied. That's fine. I'm sure I used the big one, smaller ones. Anyway, doesn't matter. And then we're going to cut that end off as well. If we don't cut these off, because we're not going to totally stuff them, the little person will feel the pointy bit, and I'm not sure that's safe. It's not a kit, Pat. It's not a kit. Oh, and look, I put the nose on sideways. So it's good to make sure that you've got the nose in the right place. Let's turn it round. That's it. Good. Oh, he's so cute. I don't know if you can see that nose. Let me bring it up. There we go. Let me turn it so you can see it. Oh yeah, you can just catch it, look. And of course all of this blue will come off when we put a little iron over it, okay? A warm iron. Okay, so back to our bear. Just make sure I've got it the right way. So wrong sides together and pin. So be careful how you're pinning. You might want to put lots in. It doesn't really matter if you're stitching through. If you haven't cut it and you're stitching, excuse me, you're stitching through. You know, it doesn't matter. You're not going to miss one side out as you're stitching, but just make sure that you keep it fairly intact. So just put one in his ear. He doesn't feel anything, by the way. He doesn't feel anything. Oh, Kit. Oh, did you mean the eyes and nose, Pat? Oh, I do beg your pardon. Yes, on Amazon. I got a funny feeling they might be in my shop, but yeah, you can just get them as normal from Amazon. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's it. Okay, now, like I said before, if you want to, you can now cut this out with your pinking shears. Please use pinking shears. Okay, use your pinks. And you can cut it out, and then you're stitching obviously 1/4 inch all the way around. You're leaving a turning gap on his leg because that's the longest, straightest bit, and so that makes it easy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch just inside that line, and to be honest, it doesn't matter if you're not 100%. And the other thing is you could stitch on that line if you want to, and when you cut out, your cutting line will be here. I'm going to leave that to you as what you find the easiest, okay? I'm not going to dictate to you how you should do all these things. You're very good at all these things now, so you can decide what's best for you. If you've ever made a Tilda doll, then this is the way that pretty much that Tilda does. I'm just moving this a little bit. This is the way Tilda does it, okay? Right, are you all okay? Yeah? Like I say, if you've got any queries, then please, please, please watch this video back. Okay. Poor little bear, he's all pinned. Oh. Right, let me just get my feet in the right place. Stick to a fairly small stitch because we're doing curves and it keeps it neat. And we're just going to try our best just to go inside the line, okay? Take your pins out as you go, and you're just taking your time, and you could just pivot and turn as you stitch. This should lift up, but it's obviously not going to behave. So all the way around, and I think you'll enjoy this. So rather than a challenge where you have to make, you've got pressure that you have to make something within a certain time frame, this is going to be at your leisure, okay? And I'd love it if you all got involved and made one or two, okay? Like I say, on the templates there are 3 pairs of tags, and like I said to you, let me just show you again. I've actually changed the spelling because Cozy had a Z on here. They Americanized my words, so I've changed it to an S. And not Pat, not that Americanized is bad, but it didn't sit with me. So this is what you would print off with your cardstock, or you can put it onto fabric. And actually I did fabric earlier on, so I think that's quite a nice thing to do. Okay, so let me speed up a bit. Let me just take my pins out. And well, we'll just leave it like that, right? Talking to myself. So I've got to the point where I want to put his not turning gap but stuffing hole, and I'm just going to move it down here, and I'm doing a little back stitch so it strengthens my gap, because they do get sort of tugged around a bit when they're stuffed. And like Tricia says, you might find it easier stitching on the line, and that's absolutely fine. The bear is 8 inches tall, I think, from memory. That's when I drew him out. And he'll just be that little bit bigger, that's all. Half an inch. Well, that's nothing, is it? So, I must reset this machine so it lifts up a little bit higher. You can do it, but there we are. So just keep your stitch length small. Let me take his pins out. And of course you could use a... Oh, I've run out of bobbin. Isn't that just the way? I think I've got a little bit in here. I've got some white. That'll be okay. Small people don't mind if it's white. That'll get buried in the fleece. But do make sure you've got a full bobbin. Okay. Right, that's it. Sorted. Sorted. Okay. Yes, so yeah, so I don't know what I was saying. Some twittering going on. Okay. There we go. So just go over those stitches. I wouldn't do a back stitch. You want to keep it neat. Yeah, so have some fun. And like I say, use some really soft fabrics. Like I say, flannel is really good. If you could get some tartan, that would be good. You could use tartan ribbon to put his tags on. And I'm hoping in the future I can have some patterns with dungarees and a dress, so you can make a little outfit if you want to for your bear. And I think the more we do, the more chance that people will find the bears and report back to the website, the Facebook page, I Found a Bear, and we can start a little trend going. And if they want to download the pattern from the files, they can, if they're a competent stitcher, or if they want to make them out of felt with their children, that would be super. So there's lots of things that we can do with this to make it a really lovely project. But the actual starting point, which I make quite clear on the Facebook page, and I will keep repeating it, the starting point comes with you guys, because you are my inspiration and my lovely ladies. So there we are. So there's the bear stitched back and front, so you can't even see where the white is, to be honest. And so now we can cut him out and stuff, or you can stuff through here. Sorry, let me go on the overhead. There we go. Soft wool, that would be lovely. So you can stuff through there like that and then cut it out. Do whatever is comfortable for you. We're all different, and I'd never ever suggest that we all do the same. Now, Kath was just saying about soft wool. Now, I know in her knitting group she's been making, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, making a piece of knitting and then felting it. And if you're part of her group, you'll know how that works. And of course, yeah, that's what you could do. If that's, if you love doing the knitting, but then you love the making into felt or that type of thing, then why not? Why not? And then you could make lots of bears. You could embroider their faces. And like I say, maybe just you want to do the eyes and the nose. And not do the smile. Maybe it's the smile that's going to be the killer for you guys, because you know maybe it's embroidery, let's say, is not your thing. So don't make it difficult for yourselves. I want you to succeed. I don't want you to fail. I want you to have fun. I want you to post pictures of your bears. I want you to post pictures of your bears here in Creative Friends, but also on the I Found a Bear Facebook page, all right? And then we can build up this wonderful community of found bears, hopefully. I think it will be absolutely super. And of course, as we go along, you can start creating little outfits yourself if you want to. One of the things that we thought about last night when I was talking to the ladies, my ladies in the admin, Jackie, Nicola, Sue and Kath, is that we would put them in a plastic bag, especially because we're coming into winter now. I wasn't keen because, as you know, I think the little bear would suffocate, and I'm serious when I say that. That's how my brain works. See how it looks now. It looks fab, doesn't it? Let me just put my iron on warm. So yes, a plastic bag would be a good idea. Okay. Yeah, the felting, I think that would be absolutely perfect. You know, anything like that. Maybe you've got some patchwork that you've made that's soft. Maybe it's out of some of Kim's flannel. Then you use that, patch it together, and make a little patchwork bear. I mean, it makes work for yourself, but maybe that's what you'd like to do. You know. So I think it's all about you guys enjoying yourselves and having fun and enjoying the process, and some little person gets the benefit of your work. Right, so there we are. Oh, that's a good idea, Nicola. I can punch a wee hole in the bag so she doesn't suffocate. Yeah, I would have to. I'd be coming out in hot sweats thinking about that. I worried enough last night about leaving my little bear outside. When I spoke to Abigail about it, she said it looks like a crash site. Rotten child. But I get her point because I propped her up against a lamppost. I get her point. So then I started to worry, and then Adrienne said, well, surely she's going to get damp because you left it out sort of 6 o'clock time. She's going to get damp with the morning dew. And I thought, oh Lord, she's going to get damp now. And then she said, well, perhaps a dog might come along and want to relieve itself on the bear. I know you did, Abigail. I don't know if the bear's been collected, Lorna. That's the thing, because that's true, I haven't been round that way. And nobody has posted on the group, and this is where I need to think about the wording of the tag to make sure that I've got that. But you could write a letter if you wanted to. You could put your own little letter in the bag with Teddy and tell them the story of Teddy and say, please join the group and tell us where you found your Teddy, and have you named your Teddy? You know, what he or she is going to be called. Is Teddy going to go on holiday? Maybe it's a Teddy that's going to go on a road trip, and they'll have photographs at every stop, and that would be amazing, wouldn't it? I'm going up to Scotland next year on the train, and I could do pictures of a Teddy on the train, couldn't I? Sipping champagne, something like that. I could, Judy. I did think about that, but of course, it's the link is still. You'd have to type it in, wouldn't you? You can't. It's not a download. Oh, I see what you're saying. It could be a download on the PDF, couldn't it? That's not a bad idea. But they're only going to get the PDF from the Facebook group. It's a difficult one, isn't it? So I just put if you put in search on Facebook, I found a bear, you will find the page. I don't think there's another page called I found a bear, unless I'm mistaken. Now look, you don't want it overstuffed. She hasn't got anything in her legs, so I'm going to just poke that down. This is where using your forceps, hemostats, are a good idea, because then you can push it in the right places. And because we stitched it on a big rectangle, there's nowhere that I've missed. There is nowhere that I've missed. It's all stitched, which is great. Now that is perfect. So it's not very fat. Look, she's not very fat. But isn't she gorgeous? And how quickly was that? I mean, crikey, we only started at 7:30. And then what we can do is cut the tag out. Now, what I did earlier was I printed it onto fabric. And I have got a file where the print is the wrong way round. So if you wanted the file to print onto fabric, then I can pop that into the files as well on I Found a Bear, not here on Creative Friends, because it needs to be the wrong way round on the file. So I can do that. But this has been printed on fabric, and actually it feels quite a little bit sort of waterproof. And so what you would do is you would, and you need the bigger hole really, but you would line them up and they're more sturdy on fabric, but you could do card. So I've put a hole through. Okay, I'm going to use embroidery thread just for the moment, and you could do double and push this through. I'm not going to be able to do this, I don't think, without a needle. Let me just get a needle, big-eyed needle, please. Right, this will do. I don't know how else I could do it. I don't know if I'm doing this right anyway. So push that through. Oh, I haven't got all the threads. Hold on. More haste, less speed. More haste, less speed. Hold on. I've got shaky hands today. Well, actually, it's only my left hand that shakes. The right hand's fine. Right. So you're going to use 1/4 inch ribbon, okay? I'm just doing this so you know what you're doing. So all I'm doing is pushing that thread through. If you're using ribbon, you'll just make a bigger hole, and you can do it this way. So make a loop and take your threads through. So you've got both of your tags together. The top one says just for you, and the bottom one says the poem, which is, I'm just a wandering little bear in need of a cosy hug. Could you take me along? I promise I'm warm and snug. If you want to spread the word, I've got a special little page. Just look for I Found a Bear on Facebook. Let's engage. Shout it from the rooftops. I found my brand new spot. I'm all set for fun and games. So, are you ready or not? Oh, you don't know how to print on fabric. Okay, so you can either use iron-on transfer paper, or if you've got freezer paper, cut a piece of white fabric or whatever, A4 size, iron it onto your freezer paper and just put it through your printer. As easy as that. Doesn't have to be anything complicated. And then all you need to do is wrap it round your bear. Hold on, let's get it in the right place. Wrap it round your bear, to put it to the side, bring the ends round, so make a fairly big, have a big piece of ribbon, and then this is not quite long enough. You can do a little bow. Ugh, that's not going to be long enough. Anyway, leave it like that. Do a little bow, and there is your bear made. Okay, and there's your tags, and obviously they can take the tags off, but these are waterproof. So they'll be fine. If you left them out just as they are, they'd be fine. And card, if you do it on paper, the holes it might rip. If you do it on card, that would be better. Or you can just pop the tags inside a bag with your bear and just leave it like that. So what do you think? Are you up for the challenge of making a little bear? See, it's a nice size, isn't it? So I'm going to put that on a park bench tomorrow in the playground. We've got a little playground right near the school, so I'll pop her on there. And you just pop it under your machine, so you just literally pop it back under your machine and sew that stuffing gap down, okay? Or don't glue it, I would stitch it, and it should go onto your machine, no bother, okay? So that's what I meant to say a little bit earlier. But you'll find that when you know, the back is as equally as good stitched as the front, because we stitched it on a rectangle, okay? Good. So there we are, there's your bear. So get going. I'd love to see some made. Let's really make this work. I'm relying on all you guys to do this. And like I say, on the actual PDF download, there are 3 pairs of